can see, my son-in-law and I weren't too terribly kind to my Raptor this past Memorial Weekend. We pretty well trashed it. So I'm cutting out, or about to cut out, got it all drawn on here, my new 5 easy piece. And this time it will be made start to finish actually as a 5 easy piece 3EE fuse Raptor, whereas before it's more or less cobbled it together, cuddled up the nose together onto my version 1 Raptor. So minor changes that have been made are the vertical fins are actually an inch longer, which I found was a mistake I made on that first one. They need to be a little bit taller, so I corrected that. And that's pretty much it. So anyway, next step is to cut it out. Okay, now we've cut the pieces out, and I've gone ahead and just dry taped the upper fuse together, so you can see how that all looks inside and out. It's got the triangle piece for the nap of the neck, each side piece, and of course I bevel, as you can see, bevel the edges, all the edges, so that everything just fits together very nice. Now I'm going to have to probably redo that. That's really too wide a gap. I like that a little finer than that. But you could you could just fill that with glue and make it work. This is the kind of the boat effect that I create with the when I do the score fold on each side from the main wing with this panel and pull it down, and then this supports the ventral pan of the nacelle. Put keys into that, and I messed up here. I meant for this to have another tab there at the back to go through, and anyway, messed that up. Ended up having to cut it off because I didn't have quite the right angle. But that's the whole beauty of working these patterns out. Get that all resolved. But as you can see, this makes a nice, almost like a boat hull type fuse down through there for that you can store your battery or set your battery in and such through the gizmo hatch here. Anyway, I'll show you from the back side. Like I said, I just got it dry, fit it together. This score fold gives you that characteristic sloped intake, kind of a sloped shoulder look on the of the Raptor. And of course, this one is the fold down for your lower part of your fuse off the main wing. This piece will just set right on here, and you line the miters up. You have to kind of spread this apart and do it in pieces, starting with this, locating that at the back and working forward. And you have to have a little bit of a notch right there to go from the edge of the lower fuse up over the top of the wing. Anyway, it's coming together, and these are the KF airfoils that will go right here, and they fit right up against the side of the fuse just like that, and they finally get in place here. They go right like that on each side. And then I use a KF4 pretty much all the time now, and that's the lower one, goes on there. Anyway, it's coming together. Okay, this is take 2. So here we have the 5 easy piece F-22 Raptor, just dry fitted together. A little bit of tape here and there, to a rubber band to help hold the pieces together. Make sure everything fits before we get out the hot glue and put the plane together. I've gone ahead and just for giggles, just roughly taped the elevons on, just get the full effect, but that's going to come off and be redone properly. Anyway, but there she is. I don't have the KFs on. Look at them cut and fitted. They do require a little bit more, probably, depending on how you exactly do it when you're building it, to adjust on my little high-tech balancer there. Okay, there she is. All ready to go, all ready to get glued together and motorized and gizmoed. And that's all right. Okay, I wanted to show you real quick how the motor mounts in here. Because I'm sure you were looking at that thinking, oh my, how does this work? Anyway, but like I say, that's the slot right there, and instead of actually having a backup to it, the backup to it is the V that's behind it, and that supports it, so it all glues in nice and tight. And the power wires, I put them off to the side because I mount my speed controller there in the airflow, and then just bring it right through the side of the lower fuse into the compartment, into the gizmo compartment. And as you can see here, let me grab one of these real quick. The battery will sit right about there in the grand scheme of things. It sits just inside. I don't like that there. It sits just inside the nacelle opening below when I had it that way. So it'll sit right about there, which is nice and centered. I just need to put some Velcro in there to suck it up to one side or the other. And all that will come through, and then of course you'll have room above that. And here probably will fasten to a hatch or something for all the receiver and my GWS mixer and such. Anyway, but that's basically how that goes together. That looks like it fits in there just fine. Now, of course, you can bump this plane up a little bit in size if you want, and put the mega motor on it, or you could put the mega motor, Grayson's mega motor, on this one, but you won't be able to get the 7-inch prop in because this is pretty tight. It'll still have to be with a 6-inch prop if you like to go with that larger power plant like I do on my Tomcat. Anyway, that's basically how it goes together, and all that just sits inside that fuse just like that. Now then, the other thing I like to do, and just show you while I've got this open, I use this foam, which is probably the same kind of foam your wife has in her couch cushions. So, you know, in the middle of the night, you can just kind of cut the corner off one of them and stuff the newspaper in or something. No, I'm not saying that. Anyway, I digress. But I will cut that to fit the angle of the top and bottom angle of the nacelle, or of the fuse, and install one of those. Glue it in at this point, so that the battery has something to run into in the event of a nose in or something. And that really saves it. You know, minor ones, it saves it from going all the way through the fuse, and which it did there. Despite the fact I had some, well, actually no, I didn't even have anything in the way on this one. This packing is all up front on that one. Well, there was nothing to retard it on that plane, so that's what happened. But it will save a nose on a minor bump. That battery busts loose, keep it from going awry. You can also take some of this foam and carve it and glue it tight into the nose here. Like I say, not just a chunk like that, but actually carve it up so it fits, and squeeze it in there, glue it down, and that will really improve the survivability of the end of the nose. And it doesn't add up that much light. These things are very, very light. Sometimes I even use a combination of, like for the battery retarder on my Tomcat, a bag of this foam. This is some packing foam that came in my transmitter case, chunks of it. You can put that there, and then one of these. And again, you're not talking about a lot of weight, but you've got a piece here that compresses initially before it gets to the harder, stiffer foam, pillow foam. So that's a possibility. Or you could do that up front even, and it really does increase when you put it in the nose. It increases the durability of that foam. Anyway, that's how the gizmos go in.